Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're previewing Alabama football headed into the 2025 college football season. We'll cover key players, coaching changes, big games, and what it'll take for them to hit their ceiling or avoid their floor. Also, what you should expect from 2025 Alabama and whether or not they're a title contender. First, let's start out with how Alabama finished last season. They went 9-4 with losses to Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Michigan, which was in their bowl game, the ReliaQuest Bowl, where they lost 19-13. Since then, they made some big changes to both the coaching staff and the roster. The big headline is Ryan Grubb getting hired as the offensive coordinator, and if you remember, Kalen DeBoer and Grubb were both at Washington together when they had a lot of success with Michael Penix Jr. On offense, Alabama returns 14 starters, and they'll be led by Ty Simpson at quarterback, who will be replacing Jalen Milroe. Now with Jalen Milroe, it was more of a run-heavy offense with the occasional deep ball, but I think it's a clear indicator with Grubb getting hired that Alabama will be more of a pass-heavy and intermediate short area team. Expect a lot of pre-snap motion and shifts like we saw when Grubb was with DeBoer at Washington, and it's not like Simpson can't run. He's a pretty good athlete and can extend plays when needed. Look out for Jam Miller, Richard Young in the backfield. Richard Young is a guy I'm sure Alabama fans are waiting for to emerge. The former 5-star has had a very limited role so far, and we'll see if he's in for a breakout year. At wide receiver, you have probably the best player on the team with Ryan Williams. The true freshman took over the first few weeks of college football last year, especially his big-time performance versus Georgia. Alongside Williams, you have Jeremy Bernard and Miami transfer Isaiah Horton. The breakout candidate in this room is Jalen Mbakwe. He was a 5-star prospect coming out of high school in the 2024 class. He spent last season on defense and is planning to make the change to offense or possibly play both ways. This is a top-tier athlete with a sky-high ceiling if he puts it all together. Up front, the offensive line, they have arguably the best left tackle in the country in Caden Proctor. Alongside Proctor, they return Parker Brailsford and Jaden Roberts, which is probably the best guard center duo in the SEC, maybe the country. So overall, this offensive line should be elite in 2025, even after losing Tyler Booker, who they replaced with Cam Dewberry from Texas A&M, who's quite a good player in his own right. The biggest question for this offense will be whether or not they can take the next step in the passing game entering year 2 under Kalen DeBoer, but also get back to having an elite rushing attack, the type we saw every year under Nick Saban. They have the O-line to do it. Now the running backs will have to emerge and become difference makers. On the defensive side, Alabama was 10th in points allowed per game last year, giving up just 17 a game. Kane Womack returns as the defensive coordinator, and last season Womack transformed the Tide defense, and they got back to a very aggressive style throughout the year. Deontay Lawson decided to come back for his senior season, and he is the heart of this defense. And alongside him at linebacker, you have Justin Jefferson, who finished the year strong in 2024, and those two backers will be playing behind an NFL defensive line. Across the board, there are future NFL linemen, led by LT Overton, who also decided to come back, and he's not your natural pass rusher, but he's a great all-around defensive end. James Smith and Quay Russaw went from teammates in high school to holding down the defensive line at Alabama together. They were part of that crazy 2023 recruiting class that Alabama signed, and Russaw has all the tools to be an elite do-it-all linebacker this year. In the secondary, they have a ton of talent coming back, and it's a room Alabama fans are probably the most excited about. Xavier Brown broke out as a true freshman last year, and he will be opposite of Devontae Jackson to form an elite duo at corner. Two guys to look out for in the secondary are Red Morgan and true freshman Dejon Lee Jr. Bama fans are well aware that Red Morgan is an elite player when he gets the opportunity, but Dejon Lee was one of the best corners in the 2025 class, and he has the elite traits to play day 1 at Alabama. Now there's a lot of talent in the room ahead of him, so his role may be limited as a true freshman, but the talent is certainly there. And honestly, the only real knock on Alabama's defense last year was their run defense, which was ranked 50th overall in yards allowed. I expect that to be even better in 2025. Alabama's schedule for 2025 looks like this. They have a road trip at Florida State, home game against ULM, home against Wisconsin, a bye week, at Georgia, Vanderbilt at home, at Missouri, Tennessee at home, at South Carolina, another bye week, then they get LSU, Oklahoma, and Eastern Illinois all at home, before a road trip to Auburn for the Iron Bowl. The make or break games on this schedule are no doubt the Georgia, LSU, and Tennessee games. You get Tennessee and LSU at home, which will be expected to win, and then the Georgia game will be up there for the most anticipated game of the year, primetime, under the lights. That game could alter Alabama's season and really determine whether or not they get back to the SEC championship game. So after looking at the schedule, what's the outlook for Alabama? If everything clicks, quarterback hits, defense improves, injuries stay low, Alabama could win 11 games and make a run at the conference title and get a top seed in the playoff. But if the worst case scenario, quarterback struggles, line injuries, defense regresses, they might be looking at just 8 or 9 wins, especially with that tough schedule. but I think that's their floor, and they're more likely to be at 9 wins even if things go wrong. That's the preview for Alabama football in 2025. What do you guys think? Will they overachieve or fall short again in year 2 under Kalen DeBoer? Drop your predictions in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any more college football previews this offseason. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.